check over here.
Oh, I see us. Yeah.
Look at that. We're legit, man.
We've got 4 viewers.
Nice. All right, I'm going to throw some chats out into Restream.
Uh-oh.
Matt. What's up, Matt?
I had a feeling Matt was going to be the first one to join.
Yeah. It looks like chat is going into Facebook, and it's going into YouTube, and it's going into Periscope.
Well, look at that.
Wow. So you are witnessing a historical event here. This is we just pulled the trigger on Restream, and Maddie and I did a little walkthrough yesterday, and decided we were just going to give it a shot. Roll the dice. That's what 2020 is all about. Is you just got to figure it out. So he likes your shirt, but you don't like my shirt. Maybe you can't see it.
You can't see the logo.
Do I need to angle it down a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. You might see my dogs too, my messy pillows. So we've got 3 different colors. So Maddie's sporting the black, I'm sporting the orange, and then we've got blue that goes out to any and all of our LinkedBanker community members. So pretty stoked about that. All right. We're right at 6 o'clock. We're going to give it just another couple of minutes to let people roll in and to say hello as people get here. Let's see. Any others? Special shirt for founders. Maybe I'll autograph yours. I'll get a Sharpie. I'll put my name on the back of it.
You guys send these ideas out when we're live, when we haven't talked about them.
Just what he wants, right? Nobody wants
exactly.
a T-shirt. Wash it once, it'll go away anyway. So I'll sign it with invisible ink.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we could have done yellow founders member T-shirts.
Yeah.
We'll wait for Ellie to catch the replay on this one.
Yeah, I'll jot a note down.
Yeah, and go, really?
Yeah.
Why didn't you think of that earlier? So now all the LinkedBanker shirts that we've got, because we had to order a bunch of them in different sizes, we went with the standard color, and you're getting the LinkedBanker blue. So let's see, it looks like we got 10 viewers. There's Emily. Hey, Emily and Katie. Excellent. Welcome, gals. Okay. There's Diane. Hey, how's it going? Every time I talk to people that are on the screen, the whole romper room thing just jumps right into my head. I know I use that analogy way too much, but that was a big part of my life as a child, was watching romper room, and it's way, way before your time, Maddie. So you're going to have to do some Googling on that, figure that one out. So, well, let's go ahead and get rolling. It's a little after 6. As live streams go, people will hop on. We've got the chat going on here. Maddie and I are using a platform called Restream. This is one of the platforms that you can leverage in order to get your message out through live video across multiple platforms. It's actually one of the platforms that LinkedIn Live recommends. And I'm really hoping at some point down the road, we'll be able to syndicate these through LinkedIn Live as well. So anybody got any connections at LinkedIn and wants to hook a brother up, feel free to go ahead and name drop. I think they're used to seeing support tickets and requests for service from me. I think I've sent 6 of them through. So we'll just wait. At some point, they'll come back. I figure squeaky wheel gets the grease. I'll just break them down and they'll ultimately have to say yes. So let's jump into it. Maddie, introduce yourself. Why are you here? Who are you? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so my name is Maddie. I've been helping Eric out for about a year now on the WSI team. So when Eric had the idea about the LinkedBanker, I kind of jumped in, and I'm now the brand and community manager. So I just lend a helping hand wherever one needs to be, keep Eric on track with everything.
Which is in itself a full-time job.
Yeah, so I get paid double what's happening there. But yeah, no, so I'm just here to help out with any of the community members and to keep us on track with website and all of the different learning opportunities.
Cool. And you can hear my assistants in the background maybe. They were quiet all day long and now they're making some noise because I think the neighbors next door are taking their dock out and the dogs want to go out and play in the water. So hopefully they will be nice and quiet for us. So and I am Eric Cook. Many of you know me already, obviously. That's why you're here. Or maybe you just stumbled upon the live stream and you're just curious to see what's going on. I see in the live stream, the folks that have chatted thus far, a lot of you are already familiar with the LinkedBanker platform. So this may be somewhat redundant for you, but humor me because we certainly hope that there will be people that will come across this down the road, or maybe there'll be some folks. And if you've never heard of the LinkedBanker, but you just stumbled upon this, and you'd like to say, hey, why don't you let us know in the chat area as well? I'm going to try something cool here with the restream. I see Diane actually posted a little romper room. If I go ahead and click on show, let's see what happens. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Check that out. So, and I will tell you, no, Diane, that does not make you old. That makes you the same age as me. And I am only in my 30s. At least that's what I'm thinking. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, so I'm 12.
Yeah. All right. So now I just can't figure out how to turn it off. So if I pop around, all right, well, we're just going to hide messages from the stream. There you go. Did I mention that this is a brand new platform and we're exploring things? Maddie and I didn't take it live, so we weren't getting chats from anybody, and now we are. So in addition to watching us build the bicycle while we're riding it, we hope that we're going to be delivering some information that you might find useful today as well. So for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with the LinkedBanker or wondering what's going on, when I typically had gone around and spoken at conferences and events and talked to bankers about the evolution of the consumer and ways to connect and engage and tools that you can use, I would get a lot of people that would come afterwards and say, those are awesome. That's great. I want to do it. You've convinced me. I want to use hashtags. I want to start using Twitter. I want to start doing a better job on LinkedIn. But they go back to their bank. They go back to their organization. They get caught back up into what they would do normally. And it's not that they didn't care, but there was nothing that was there to help keep them accountable and to motivate them or to be a sounding board or someplace they could ask a question of how do I do this? Because there might be a lot of people within the organization that were naysayers or, oh, we tried that, or LinkedIn is just a place to post a resume, whatever. I've heard all the excuses. So we developed the LinkedBanker as a community for people to get together and help us keep each other motivated and to be able to take some of the things that I've seen as a digital marketer and as a former banker and to be able to infuse that into the conversations through monthly mastermind sessions. We've got a really cool little Telegram app that we're using as a private channel for communication. Post a little note out there just to kind of give everybody a heads up that we were going live. So some of you that are participating in this are on that channel as well. So that might be what got you to come over here. So it's just building a community where we can all get together and be part of each other's lives on a regular basis with some semblance of order and structure with ideas and other sorts of things injected in there to help make sure that your time online using digital and social technology isn't just fun, because we want to make it fun, otherwise you're not going to do it, but it's productive. And it's a way for you to be able to use it as a business tool to build relationships, to establish your credibility as a subject matter expert, as a trusted advisor, and to help your bank basically achieve success online. And so we've got marketing directors, we've got former CFOs, we've even got some vendor partner companies that work with banks that are part of this, some CEOs. I mean, there's a wide swath, commercial lenders from all different parts of the country that have jumped on board already. And we're just excited to watch it grow and become a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, because the more people that are participating and the more questions and ideas that are going around, the more successful the platform is going to be. Like any community, you want to make sure that you've got dialogue and everything kind of going back and forth and being able to have that conversation. So what do we want to talk about next, Maddie?
I feel like we should just jump in right now and talk about some of the introduction to the LinkedBanker. So we kind of shared with kind of why you started it in a way. But if you want to walk us through the website a little bit.
Boom. Look at that. Like a boss.
Yeah. There you go.
The LinkedBanker website really has two different personalities to it. You've got the public site, which is, and I'm going to turn my head a little bit because my screen's over here, even though I can see it right in front of me. So you've got the public site, which has got info about it, the purpose as to why it was created, some questions and answers, what were we going to be doing. So we mentioned our monthly masterminds, so being able to get together on a monthly basis. This month, I'm pretty excited that one of my good friends and also a virtual selling LinkedIn expert, Jack Hubbard from St. Meyer and Hubbard, is going to join us on our monthly mastermind. We go live every third Wednesday of the month at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. I want to make sure I get that right. So 3:30 Eastern every third Wednesday of the month. So the 21st of October, Jack's going to join us, and he's going to talk about virtual selling. If you follow Jack or you see any of his stuff on LinkedIn, you know that they're about announcing some really cool stuff. They've been spending a lot of time building out video content as well. And we've been talking about how the LinkedBanker and their virtual selling program can really be complementary to each other. And I think he's going to even maybe drop some special pricing for LinkedBanker members to join his community and vice versa. So that cooperative environment is one. And because I was a banker for 15 years and I'm involved with a lot of the teaching and learning, I know a lot of really awesome people like Jack that we're going to incorporate as part of the learning and information sharing that goes on within the LinkedBanker community. So our learning center is where we store all of our past shows and our episodes and other sorts of things. So the mastermind sessions are actually in the learning center. And over time, I don't know if we'll get to the magnitude that Jack is building with his team, but we'll have little mini sessions and other sorts of things that you'll be able to jump into for quick little how-tos and tutorials and just reminders of how to do certain things when new information gets released. For example, later today, before we end, we're going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn Stories. And if you've not seen it, I'm sure you probably have. But if you go to your LinkedIn app on your mobile device, now at the top, and it's pretty much going to be a matter of time before every social networking platform on their mobile app is going to have the little circle stories at the top with the little 60-second snippets that you can record and share and post out. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but things like that will be posted up in the Learning Center. And then over time, we'll introduce group coaching calls and other sorts of hot seats and learning opportunities specifically for LinkedBanker community members to push you a little bit, to get you outside of your comfort zone, to try new things, but do it in a safe environment where there's no judgment. If you're not comfortable doing video, we're going to have you do video and you're going to share it and we're going to see how it goes. And if you don't really like it the first time or the 5th time or the 10th time, by the time you get to number 20, you might be really comfortable. And at that point, the rest of the world can see it. Nobody needs to see your blunders. Although I'm pretty notorious for just pressing the button and going live and letting my blenders out there for the whole world to see. So that's okay. I'm good with it. So signing up, you can click here. This takes you right into the actual pricing and the join page. One of the things we're pretty excited about, we've been in, and it hasn't really been private or beta per se, but we've been in what we refer to internally as founders member mode. So anybody that's come on board over the last couple of months, we've identified as founders members. And you might see some of those folks out there on LinkedIn or Facebook with special badges and overlays on their profile pictures. Hat tip to one of our members, Sean, who's given us the idea to do that. And then we put those badges together. And so we've got those out there in circulation. So you can get a sense if you see somebody on LinkedIn and they've got the little yellow founders member. But anybody that decides that the LinkedBanker is right for them, if they want to join before the end of October, you get to save $10 a month. There is a monthly cost associated with this. Up until this point, it's been free. We've just been inviting people in to give us feedback. We've had a couple of mastermind sessions that have gone great, had some really good discussions. But if you jump on board before the end of October, you still qualify for Founders Member. The thing that we've also done just to take away the risk, and for the bankers in you, you can see that I've got a reference there of, if I scroll up a little bit, where's my little on us reference? I think there was, well, anyway, somewhere in here, there's an on us reference where I made a checking account joke. But you can join the Founders Members group, and we've got a 60-day money back refund policy. So if you join, you sit through a couple of masterminds, you participate in the Telegram app, ask some questions. If you're not getting value out of it, I don't want to take your money if you're not going to get value out of it. We want you to be here because you find it valuable. You're getting information, you're sharing information. And the only way to really know that is to give it a couple of months. So if you hop in and you decide you want to give it a try, and after 2 months you don't like it, it's not for you, no hard feelings. We part as friends. Hopefully we stay connected on LinkedIn and we can maybe explore other opportunities together. But you don't have to stay here if it's not a good fit for you. So that's where the pricing information is. There's some more about information. You can learn a little bit more about where I'm blabbing about social media and digital marketing and drawing attention to the way that the consumers have evolved. So I'm pretty involved right now. In fact, I was just on a call before I hopped on and decided to go live with the Graduate School of Banking. We're running their digital banking school and helping with that as the program coordinator. I don't have my sunglasses handy, but you can watch an episode on Brian Claggett's Badass Banking, which was a fun show. Actually got to drink a little Metallica whiskey and talk about badass banking and some of the things that we've seen in the social world. And then we've got some information here with regards to Fintech Forum, the Fintech Forum podcast, and Erin Jester, who I've known for a number of years through some association involvement. And now she's with Fintech and was on their podcast. So that's pretty cool. So just some other ways that we're trying to spread the word and share information about how consumers are changing, how bankers need to change along with it, and how we need to be able to do it without freaking our compliance officers out, how to make sure senior management knows that we're not just going to be out there wasting time, and how we can, again, have fun, but also make sure that there's some legitimate reasons behind it. There's a strategy there as far as building your brand and establishing some subject matter expertise. So when you click on the sign in, that's going to take you into our Learning Center area. And so we've built this platform in an environment that's really designed to deliver online course material. At some point, we may introduce more formal courses with things like training and certifications and other sorts of scoring. But the platform for right now is essentially holding some videos that give us the ability to share the monthly masterminds, which internally we refer to as our M&Ms. So if you start the course, which is what it's called in the platform, this will actually take you into the monthly mastermind archive. I'm going to hit the pause button because I don't need double audio rolling here. But You can see this is where we've got the 2 masterminds. When we finish the one for October, that's going to be loaded up in here. And when you join the LinkedBanker, you get access to all of the past ones. So if you join, it's October now. If you're listening to this maybe in the future, November, December, when you join, you could have 4, 5, 6 mastermind calls in there that you can catch up on, talking about things like engagement, leveraging video, how to use content successfully, and building your brand and sharing information, again, in a way that's not going to freak your compliance officer out. So there's a lot of cool information in there that you'll get access to. And then some information here with regards to just welcome to the LinkedBanker. This is where most of the new members will come in, provide some orientation around the platform, the Telegram app, how you get access to the masterminds. And then as we scroll down a little bit further, I'm logged in as a super admin, so we're seeing a lot of stuff that normally a member wouldn't see. But we've got a little founders forum here where people can go in, introduce themselves, share some photos, a little bit of their background, just to help everybody get to know each other a little bit better, because we want this community to make it feel like you're with friends that you know well and that you trust, because we're going to be leaning on each other in a lot of different ways, exploring and testing new things. So making sure that we know who each other is and what we like to do and what our hobbies are, all those sorts of things are super important. So how's that, Maddie? Am I staying on task?
You are actually.
For agenda. Remember, you're supposed to keep me under wraps here and in line.
I've been checking. You're doing all right so far.
All right, cool. So what's next on our list?
I feel like we can jump into now a little bit of background on LinkedIn stories in general.
Cool.
Yeah, give people a little taste of what they could learn if they join the LinkedBanker, or if they already have a little bit extra. And this will coincide with the challenge that we are going to shoot out to our members after.
Yep. Awesome. So I'm just curious, if you're watching live, post a note into your chat preference, whether it's on Facebook, because we're live right now on YouTube, we're live on Periscope/Twitter, and we're live on Facebook. So depending on where you're actually visiting from. But if you've actually used LinkedIn Stories, I'm curious if you have, let me know in the chat. I'm just wondering if anybody out there has actually played with it. If you've not posted something, then let me know if you've at least watched one. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to pull up my phone here. And, one of the things that we should probably figure out how to do, Maddie, at some point, me being the Android guy, I know it's a lot easier to do it with an iPhone and a MacBook, but if there's an easy way for me to emulate my screen on the computer in order to show it so I don't have to do old fashioned. But if you pull up your, and let me go ahead, we're going to go and take that down, and I'm just going to make me featured. No offense, Matt. I'm just going to put
come on now. Okay.
I'm putting baby in the corner.
Yeah.
But if you take a look at your LinkedIn, if you look at the top, you can see you'll have your profile with a little plus next to it. And then any of the pages that you manage, actually that just showed up within the last couple of days. Now pages can actually go live, or not live, can do a LinkedIn story. So we're on, I see the WSI, I see the LinkedBanker, but there's a couple of other institutions and clients that we're administrators on their page. So I can see those. I got to be really careful that I don't do a LinkedIn story for one of them, because they might not necessarily like my sense of humor.
Right.
But that's where you actually create, and that's where you can watch. So let me just go ahead and take a look at the chat. So a couple times, spend some time, start a little bit more regularly. Haven't even ever posted in LinkedIn. Oh, we're going to fix that. we're going to fix that, Katie. Don't worry. So that's where you find stories, and the strategy with stories is a little different, but I would say in some ways the same as it relates to a Facebook post. So now a story, just like anything, it started with Snapchat, it went to Instagram, it got deployed into Facebook, and so now all platforms are doing it. They're ethereal in nature, meaning they disappear after a period of time, and it's 24 hours. So the whole focus around them is they're in the moment, they're short, they're sweet. If you don't watch them, they're going to disappear. So there's a little bit of that FOMO, the fear of missing out. You might have heard that term before. So if I don't watch the story, I'm not going to see it. And if it disappears, then I'm never going to see it. So I got to watch it. So that's somewhat of the lure. But the goal with a story, and I would say to a certain extent, the goal of a post, the goal of anything that you share on any social networking platform is to build engagement and to try to get some sort of a reaction. And with this story, just like on Instagram, just like on Snapchat, the goal is to try to elicit somebody to take action and to initiate a direct message or to post a comment. Because while the story is going to disappear, the actual conversation that's created as a result of it will live on. So one of my recent stories, and I've not seen a lot of engagement because I've just started playing with them as well, but one of the recent stories that I did, I was talking about going live on the Graduate School Banking's digital banking school and how that program has been a joy to be a part of and getting a lot of engagement from the banks that have signed up and are part of the class. But I asked the question, hey, but if you're a banker and you're seeing this, what are some of the questions that you might have around digital banking or digital marketing or digital strategies? Just to invite the opportunity where the reader, the viewer, or the watcher maybe doesn't necessarily know that the action that they can take is to actually send you a message to start a conversation. So opening the door, making it very conspicuous that that's what you want somebody to do is probably one of the ways that you can at least get a little bit more of engagement off of this so you can see what's going on. The other thing that in my stories, I believe have expired, and so I can't really show them here because I haven't done one within the last 24 hours, but I created a couple of snapshots, and you have the ability to download your video while it's still active so you can pull it down from your phone. If it expires and it's 2 days later and you're like, oh, snap, I forgot to download that video, I wanted to have a copy of it, I'm going to show you where you can go into your settings and you can actually pull down that as well as all of your media stuff. So it's an area, kind of a little sneak behind the scenes, if you will. We're going to go behind the curtain at LinkedIn. But if I take a look at, I'm just going to pull up, let's see here. I'm going to click on OK. So now if I open this guy up, so if I go back to my screen and I share this out and I make it the big one. So now you can see this is a screenshot of the story, and I'm on the second story because up at the top here, you can see I've got the first line right above, and then it started going into the second line. So I've added some little interactive stickers. So the arrows that are pointing at the LinkedBanker sign that's on my wall, if you were to have seen this, they're actually blinking. So pointing at the LinkedBanker, I've got the @ symbol for the LinkedBanker. I'm talking about, hey, we're going to be going live. So down in the bottom left-hand corner, though, that's where you're able to see your engagement. So while the story is live, and certainly once you push it, you're going to see 0 because it's not going to get instantaneous activity. I don't know, maybe you're a social media rock star and it will have instantaneous. But I let this sit for almost a day, and then I came back and I looked at the viewers. And so this is giving me some ideas as to, well, who's actually visiting. So here's another one with 16, the GSB DBS, which is the hashtag. You can see I'm in the first story now because up at the top, you've got the little bar that's going across there. And then if I go through and I take a look, I can see who the unique visitors are. So there's a few people that I can see that are consistent, but then I've got some new people as I scroll down. And so it's really interesting just to keep an eye on that as you post those stories to see, does one a day make more of an impact than 2? If you do 1, does everybody always watch the second one? Are you doing anything that actually inspires somebody to start a conversation with you, getting engagement, sparking a discussion? Doesn't necessarily have to be about business. You can post anything that you want out there. I listen to a lot of podcasts as it relates to LinkedIn and social strategy. And one of the taboos used to be that you have to keep everything on LinkedIn very much. Let me go ahead and flip this around here. That you have to keep everything on LinkedIn very business orientated. And that's really not the case. At the end of the day, people want to do business with you and who you are. So I posted pictures of me and my dogs, referencing an article that I read. I caught something, I think it was on Forbes, about the number of people that would choose to give up their pets versus their mobile device. And that totally wasn't jiving with me. So I would give up my mobile device before my two little fur babies. I say little, golden retrievers, they're not exactly little, but I would give up my mobile device before I gave up my dogs, because they're my kids, our kids. So, but that was a picture of me with two dogs. It wasn't exactly business professional, but that got a lot of comments. It got a lot of interaction, and people that engaged with that content get a sense that I'm a dog person. I'll post stuff about cycling. There's no shame, even if it's on LinkedIn, which is a business network, a little bit more personal stuff. So you got some background noise going on there?
So there does seem to be a street race. that might just happen. Yeah.
I caught that Memphis street racing show on Discovery Channel the other day, and I couldn't look away. I was just watching it, wanted to change a channel, but it was literally like watching a car wreck. I just couldn't walk away. Anyway, so let me show you where you can find some of these things. So if you've done a story, or maybe you posted some pictures and you're wondering, how do I get access to all of that? Is that retrievable? I can tell you that it is, because we've done a little bit of research. We figured out where you can find that stuff. So you're going to have to go into the bowels of your settings and your privacy, but don't worry, you've got support here. We'll make sure it's okay, even though it is Halloween time. It's not going to be that spooky. So in order to get, I'm going to make this the featured spotlight again, so I'll pop it in, make it big. And so in order to get to that, you're going to click on the little me area here. You're going to go down into your settings and privacy, and that's going to bring you in. And by default, you're going to be in your data privacy. Your get a copy of your data is where you're going to want to go. And this is also nice to know, because you actually can download all of your information. Now, you're not going to be able to get email addresses from the people that you're connected to and dump them into a marketing automation or an email platform and blast them out. But on a regular basis, it's not a bad idea to go out here and download your connection information just to have a backup. I know it was about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. You guys are probably familiar with Garmin, and I've got a Garmin watch that I use for all of my workouts, which synchronizes with Strava, and that's my own little physical fitness social network where we can track everybody and see who's going for bike rides and running and hiking and whatnot. Well, Garmin got hacked, and the hackers took control of their data and they locked it down. And for 3 or 4 days, and I know it's not a big deal, so I'm not saying that, oh my God, my life came to an end, but my Garmin device wouldn't synchronize with Strava. And there were people that were freaking out about it, not because they couldn't share their 40-mile bike ride with their friends, but just the fact that somebody else had control of that data. And so it was just a good reminder that all companies have the possibility of a data issue, of some sort of a breach, or having that information. You know, they could have deleted it all. Now, I heard that they paid $10 million to get the information back, and I don't know whether that's going to be a long-term solution or not, but it's not a bad idea to get into this area, get to your data privacy. Now, I've already logged in, and it asks you for your password again when you go into this area. So just make sure that you know what your LinkedIn password is. And I'm hoping that it's not the same password that you use for Facebook and Twitter, because there's a whole nother conversation we need to have around password management. And, you know, it is October, it's Cyber Security Awareness Month. So stay safe online, kids. But when we go into the settings of this and get your data, you can see this link here, and it's purple because I've visited it a couple of times, but you can view rich media. And when you click on that, it's going to open up a new tab. Now it's going to ask me for my password again. So I'm going to make sure I use LastPass for my password management. So I'm going to click sign in. It's going to take me in here. And now I've got access to all of my rich media. So if I wanted to just look at the videos that I've done, I can click on videos and click apply. And now I've got access to all my videos. And I can click on the little download, shows me the videos. here's a video that I posted a couple of days ago announcing the live stream that we're on today. So that gives me access. Here's a couple of others where you can now see, there you can see the little blinky, blinky, blinky. So that's giving me that information. So I can go through and grab all this. If I want to get my photos, I can click photos. And if I scroll down, here's one to ponder. We're going to give the Cook Dogs a little plug here. And they just perked up because they heard their names. But that's the photo that accompanied the post that referenced the article that talked about 40% of people said they would rather give up access to their pets for a month than their mobile device. So that's Lily and that's Winnie, in case anybody's interested. Got to make sure I introduce them. But that's where you can get access to all this. So even if you forget to download when it's still live, now if your story is live on your phone, you can click on the 3-dot menu and that gives you the ability to download your video right from there. And then it pulls it to your phone. And you've seen that I use Google Photos for the storage of all of my videos. So that's given me access to be able to just automatically synchronize anything that goes to my phone directly up with Google Photos. And now it's in the cloud, it's on my phone, it's across my Android. Apple Photos works the same way. You can just select that folder on your mobile device and it'll automatically sync it up for you. So that's where you can get access to everything that basically all your media files that LinkedIn has about you. So, all right, Maddie, let's take a look and see what we've got over on questions. Any other folks? So it looks like Jack was talking about this today. Absolutely. We're kind of peas in the pod in that regard. So there's a lot of stuff that we go back and forth on. So cool. All right. So that's our little brief learning center. Now, for those of you that are part of the LinkedBanker community, a little sneak peek, we're going to do a little LinkedBanker challenge where we're going to encourage you, can't make you because I'm not your mother, but we're going to encourage you to spend a little time doing a LinkedIn story, figuring out what your message is. How do you want to craft that in order to invite conversation? Download it, share it, put it in the community and have a little dialogue and some discussion around it. So that'll be, I think, a fun process. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be. Did I mention that I make mistakes a lot when I go live and trip on my tongue, which I just did right there. So you'll be able to get more comfortable. I got the word out that time with how that process works. And before you know it, it'll be pretty close to second nature. I know a few people that when COVID hit and they started getting outside of their comfort zone and doing things like video and sharing stories and making sure their customers knew what was going on, they were really nervous. And it was something that they weren't really comfortable with. But after a while, it just becomes second nature. And you can tell. If you listen to podcasts, a lot of the podcasts, you can go back in time and listen to their first episode. So Mark Williams has got a LinkedIn podcast that I listen to, and he just did his 300th show, which is pretty cool. And he went back and played his very first episode, and it just made him cringe because that's not what he sounds like now. Pat Flynn with Smart Passive Income is another guy that I follow. Actually, he's one of the reasons why the LinkedBanker came to life is I heard him speak at Social Media Marketing World. And he oftentimes will go back to some of his early podcasts and how he just is doing stuff that just sounds stupid. And I can't believe I did that. But you do it once and the next time's better and the next time's better. And now when you listen to these guys, you have no idea that they started where we're all at right now. So this is our first restream. And I'm sure if I look back on this in another several months, we'll look at this and go, can't believe you didn't know how to turn off comments on the screen. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of other stuff too. We'll have to go back and count how many times I've said, I'm hoping not very many because I try really hard not to do that, but we will see. So, all right. Well, what else do we have? I know I wanted to keep this right around probably half an hour, 40 minutes. We're kind of rolling in just around that time frame. Um, I think we've already chatted a little bit about the pricing structure. Just again, as a reminder, if you would like to come on board and join us, and we really hope that you do, if you touch the banking industry, if you are a banker yourself, regardless of what position you're in, if you are a provider of services and you work a lot with banks, the only thing I'll caveat is this is not an environment for you to come in and sell your stuff. You know, we're a digital agency. Everybody knows that. But I'm not talking about what WSI Digital does for banks or the services that we provide. And I don't expect you to do that either. And the folks that are in there now that are part of agencies and service providers and technology companies, they get that. They're there to figure out how they can leverage social technology to build their brand, share some of the experiences that they've had, that other bankers. And you know what? If you participate in the program and you're sharing good knowledge and you're helpful and you're smart and you've got the other person in mind, you make it about them, not you. That's really the best way to generate business. So don't talk about yourself, even if you're a bank. Talk about your customers. What's on their minds? What's concerning them? What are the things that are keeping them up at night? They don't want to hear you jawing about checking accounts and mortgage loans and online banking unless that's a specific problem or a need that they have. And that's kind of an overreaching theme of content strategy and building engagement that we talk about a lot as part of the LinkedBanker community. So hop on out to the join area, scroll down, tap that yellow button if you're still watching this in the month of October. If you are outside of the month of October and you've gotten into November, you can still come on board for less than $50 a month. You can join the annual plan, which saves you even more. And again, you got 60 days to try us out and to see whether or not this community is really providing you with anything that's going to benefit you professionally. So with that, I think we are done with our very first multi-platform Restream.io enabled live video broadcast.
I think so.
Kind of cool. I don't know if anybody watched on YouTube, but I can see we've got a couple people on Facebook. We've got one person hanging out there on Periscope on Twitter. So hello to the lone Twitter Periscope person. We're glad that you're here, whoever you are. I can't tell, but I'm glad that you're here. And So Maddie, anything you'd like to say before we go ahead and wrap the show?
If you've stayed on this long, we appreciate it. We really hope you join us on board. We've been having an amazing time just hanging out with all the members so far. So dive in and we'll have some fun.
Awesome. Look at that.
Nice.
Boom. I'm going to turn that guy off. There's the little sub. There's all sorts of cool little things behind the scenes that we're figuring out. So, future live streams are going to have all sorts of stuff. We've got live video capability and other sorts of cool things. So it's going to get pretty awesome. So, But for now, there's a big finish button right up there in the corner. I'm going to tag that, and that's going to be a wrap. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for being part of this live video. And for those of you that are part of the LinkedBanker community already, thank you very much. It means a lot, and looking forward to doing some really cool stuff together for many, many, many months to come. So see you online, everybody. Bye for now. Bye.